Yo, 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 what's up, my people? Here we have some Resto Hunter Resto Shaman, a tier 2 comp for Ret apparently, versus, this is a nice comp. It's a tier 3 comp for Retri, but it's played by a Fury Warrior, Outlaw Rogue, and the Fury Warrior is on the Ret, and the Outlaw Rogue is playing Assassination. And these guys were in the Arena Cup yesterday, and they got knocked down out of the competition. But they're 3.2 players, like they're really high rated players, and we managed to kind of destroy them. I think. I mean, we should have the advantage, but if they just play pillar, I don't know why they went in the open like this. But if they would have went just pillar, the hunter would do no damage. But they played it a bit awkwardly because they were kept going into the open, like the shamanist especially. He was in the open, the red was in the open, like the rogue was in the open. So our hunter managed to do a lot of damage, similar to the rogue damage. So we had about around the same amount of damage. But the thing is, we had trap and they did not have trap. So we had a huge advantage in that regard, and they do have like a AoE Mortal Strike effect with the Assassination Rogue, putting blades on the 2 DPS, but that really didn't really hurt that much. Like it was an okay thing, you know. Like I had to pop on sentence here. Good thing I managed to get the hex, and now I can get two more free casts with no problem. And I did. He got interrupted there, so he couldn't interrupt my thing. And then he got hexed, and I could top my team since they had no kicks available at that time. Now they're in a okay spot. We did force bubble, but they still have link, and that's a major cooldown that we still have to go through. My red also has bubble. I think he does. He didn't really use it yet. I'm pretty sure actually his bubble is still fine. Fake the kick there, and I'm pretty proud of that, Kappa. Anyway, it was kind of obvious because the red is really far away, and the shaman was casting a heal. Instead, like if he would interrupt me there, he would actually interrupt his cast. So I really thought that the shaman would kick me there since his red was also really low. Now we're gonna get super high pressure, and the red is AoEing them all. And the funny thing is that with a Joker, even if he's not playing red as a main, he's still doing a pretty good job. Like he's running when he should run, he's healing when he should heal. He has that defensive play in mind, which is specifically for hybrid classes, such as red or boomkins or even ferals. But like him as a fury warrior main, I wouldn't expect this. So I was actually really impressed of how good they played and how much they survived. I actually think they should have died way sooner. He couldn't get the sap on the redder. That was really key as well. He didn't really have vanish, so I don't know why he wasted blinder. I guess he wanted to reduce the pressure there. I think this is gonna be turtle, or oh, actually, it does not have turtle. So yeah, it's gonna be a link. Like the kick was fine. They didn't have birds there, so they had no wings. If they had wings, I think he could have died in that shear. And now he just bopped, and I'm just gonna purge it, and that's it. Well, I didn't. I don't think I even got the purge off. He died through the red killed him because I think red has some abilities that go through bop. So yeah, it was a nice game. I think it's around 2.4 rating or MMR. And yeah, it was really exciting to face some really high rated players playing a one trick pony comp, and that was their name in the what's it called, in the Arena Cup, in the first Arena Cup of 2018. One trick pony OTP, yeah. And this was another team, at least the monk is another player that played in the Arena Cup yesterday, but he got disqualified. Not disqualified. He got knocked down as well. I think he was playing the same comp. No, it was Windwalker Mage Disc, and then I think they played double Windwalker Priest. It was a really close game, this one. I mean, they got the bubble quite fast, so at this point I was scared. I needed to move myself to be closer to the fight so I can easily link when needed. At this point, like this hex on the shaman got broke, but if he wouldn't, if nobody would have broken it, I think we would be in a really safe spot. Although I got lucky there because they did DR hex me. Like if he waited a few more seconds, I would be like free of DR and I would have gotten incap into stun into another hex, which would be DR into a fear or something like that, and they would 100% kill the red. That didn't happen, and now they're just trying to peel the shaman, and the monk has no karma, and they switched on the monk now, which was okay, but I think they should have switched a bit earlier. Still, it was a fine switch, and we do have a lot of pressure, so he had to run, and now we should switch again back on the shaman, which we do, but not as fast as I would like to. Like we need to do faster switch, that's for a fact. And now I'm just purging the shaman so he can't kite, like I'm constantly purging him. He got knocked there into a DR hex, and I'm gonna root the priest there as well, and the priest cannot get to the shaman at all. Now the shaman managed to get to the guy. I'm gonna keep spam purging the shields, and the ghost wolf, and he should drop down, which he actually did. Although we should not chase this much. Like we had a good position in which we could chase, since the priest was constantly under pressure, but we should switch way sooner. Than I think we would have forced more, or at least they would have been under pressure way quicker. This is another high team, high rating comp. I think, like at least the priest on that team is 3.2 priest as well. His niece or niece or whatever. I'm not so sure. I think he competed in like. Anyway, the first bubble, and that's super hard now. The good thing the hunter did was he disoriented the priest, so he couldn't get the MD off, and the feral immediately ran away. Now the hunter is the target, and he's too far away. Now we're hitting the feral back. We need to constantly switch. We can't really stick on one target because either the feral runs or the hunter runs, but we need to do damage at all times. I get the full hex there. Like that was a really good blood elf silence from the red. We're not on voice. Like we never played on voice on this, right? And I got a hex there. He got a blood elf silence on the on the feral. He couldn't dispel. He went into form, aka into human form, aka he took more damage. That was my thinking. He was super low, so I think let me get the hex, and maybe he will go for the dispel, and that would mean he's gonna be in human form and take a lot of damage. And actually he did that, but the blood elf silence was so clutch, and we actually got a kill like that. And now moving on into the next game. Well, I think these are like regular people, not really famous or anything like the other ones that you could see them on streams or on like blizzcon events or tournaments actually. Anyway, this was a weird RMP, I guess. They didn't force bubble in the open, which was actually um, something miraculous. Like usually every RMP that goes red, they will force bubble. It's like it's a given. And the red didn't really peel her that much. He just ran through the middle, so he basically tanked the entire mage damage. And the rogue didn't pop shadow blades. I guess that's the reason why they did not get bubble. I think if he popped shadow blades like he's doing it now, maybe did he? No, he didn't. Well, if he would pop shadow blades, I'm for sure like 100% that would have been a bubble, and now on the second go he would have been dead. The red, I mean. Although they tried to do another go on me, I don't know why, but yeah, I've been I think I could have got that mind control a bit earlier, maybe. I don't know. This was a ring that was really weird. The hunter said the ring was invisible, but it was not actually. It was DR, so I didn't want to dispel him. So yeah, I just let him sat in that ring. Thankfully, I didn't really need to use her shield, so yeah. Although they got the ship and I should have refreshed their shield, but we still have a lot of pressure. They're not pumping damage at the moment, they're playing defensive, so I'm gonna throw some more damage into them. A lava burst, of course, besides maybe a dispel and a few purges, and that's the game. I think these guys rushed a bit with their goals. They could have waited a bit more, and they could have had a really good go. Like they could have had a really good opener on the red with like a blind on me and like chip shot and like another chip shot, or I don't know. First of all, you should just ship the red in the beginning, right? Because you're gonna get his auto trinket off, and then you can basically do the go on him, and he's not gonna be able to do anything unless he trinkets, which means, you know, later in the game problems for us. This was a really I don't want to say hard team. I do want to say annoying team because Destro was playing Imp, although I don't think my red knows that his artifact weapon actually stuns the Imp as well. Anyway, our general strategy is to kill the Imp and to LOS the Warlock as much as possible. I do get feared and hex here. I was contemplating of trinketing this, but the Warlock wasn't casting Chaos Bolts at the time. Well, he did cast eventually, but when I was hexed and feared, he was not casting anything. He just popped his cooldown and moves to a location and then started. So I had like 2 more seconds on my thing. So I thought one Chaos Bolt won't kill him, and it did not kill him. So that was a good decision to held my trinket there to not use it. Now the thing is, I'm in an awkward spot. Good thing I was on the R with stuns, because that stun into coil into stun. I was actually surprised it did not do more damage on me. Uh, I guess the Warlock wasn't able to do more than one Chaos Bolt, and the Red didn't really have wings. If the Red had wings there, I'm pretty sure I would have died, or at least not died, but had to use Trinket. Um, Fortunately, this game went really well for us. We have a lot of pressure on the Warlock. The Shaman doesn't seem to be able to recover. We're keep CCing him, we're keep trapping him, we're keeping the pressure really high. I shouldn't have went for the hex there. I wanted to stop the Warlock cast, but I accidentally also hexed the Shaman, which made the trap duration shorter. That was a bad one thing bad from my part, but now the Paladin popping wings, and I just said, well, I'm gonna stay offensive because your Warlock is gonna die. So I just popped my totem and my wall, and I just purged the Warlock and did damage. And that was yeah, this was the game. I think it could have went either way, to be honest. Like if they didn't overlap that fear and hex, I may have had to use my trinket. uh, Maybe. Now there's another. Oh, this is the same team that we faced in the beginning of this video. It's the Fury Warrior on the red, the 3.2 Fury Warrior, and the Taku Rogue that played in the Arena Cup this weekend. Yeah, it's a really nice matchup. I think we should have the advantage. Like I said, we have the trap, which is really powerful. Although they do have a lot of pressure, and this strategy they are doing now, like going towards me. I mean, the rogue on me and the red on the red. I think it really worked. Although the rogue couldn't really get too much damage on me, I was kiting him kinda. I really hope the hunter would have slowed him there, because he did a step to get on me, right? And then I got away from him, but I didn't have any slows. My slow was on cooldown, so if the hunter would have slowed him there, like the rogue would do zero damage in that vendetta. Now I got a bop there, which was a surprising thing to get because the rogue was expecting me to trinket. He was there. If you could have seen him, he didn't really go away. He was still on me. He wanted to kick or do something, but if I get bobbled, he can't kick through bobble. So he wasted a bit more time. That means we had a bit more opportunities to be offensive. A nice dispel on that Hosh from the red, although apparently it doesn't really matter because the hunter outranged me, so I couldn't really get any heals. I could have just had that full Hosh, to be honest, since nothing else happened. Maybe I should have, yeah, maybe I should have he should have just hold that dispel there, since they didn't really have any damage, and the setup on the hunter was pretty weak. Now some nice little lava burst. We're probably gonna kill the rook soon enough. We're trying to. He does have evasion, so the hunter damage doesn't really go through. So here's a different thing. Like this stun here would have been actually game over. So I had to trinket that stun, and like if he wouldn't dispel me the other time, I would have the trinket still available at this point, because this one was kind of scary. Like they had a bit more damage, still no cooldowns, but they had a bit more damage. Now they do have cooldowns, but it's too late. Like the rogue already died, and they cannot really. I don't think the red can solo anyone. Not at this point anyway. I'm just gonna purge the freedom, and then he's slowed forever. He can't really do anything, and I think he doesn't have bubble either, so he will just drop. That was a nice game as well. Like they played a bit better, and we could have played way better. Like the hunter could have completely destroyed that rogue, since I was kiting him his entire vendetta. If one concussive shot on that guy, the game would be completely different. Now another destruction red Resto Shaman type of game. And this map is actually, I think it's harder for us, since if they would go red, or even hunter for that matter, but the hunter can stay at the pillar, that's the big difference. But if they would go and train red constantly, and me not be able to interrupting, like there I had managed to hex him, but it also put the shaman on the air, so it wasn't a really good hex, but it stopped one chaos bolt. One went through, but the other one didn't. But look at these chaos bolts, man. Like 20% of their HP is just gone. One chaos bolt. I got kicked there. Not the big deal. As the games go, as the game goes, my mentality here is to just stay defensively. If I go push in, I'm a target. I don't want to be a target because they could probably stick on me for a while. If I stay behind the pillar, the warlock cannot come here. If the warlock comes here, I mean, he can be aggressive like that, but he also puts the shaman in a weird position. And then the other thing is that we can easily swap healers, which we don't really do that often, but it's really effective. Like if the shaman will come to heal the warlock in here, we can just double disorient the DPS, maybe trap the warlock, and just go ham on the shaman. And I don't think he has anything to do. He will probably just run or try to heal, but we have free kicks, and that's really, really powerful. And considering the warlock wouldn't have trinket, he would have set the full trap. But now we just the hunter actually got a flying trap with no other things, and we just killed the warlock. He still had trinket he didn't use, but yeah, it was a funny game, a funny ending to a game, let's say. The hunter tried, like for the most part, to chase the shaman, the enemy shaman, and he couldn't do it. So he just he just decided, well, I'm gonna trap you when you cast. So that's what he did. The shaman started casting, he threw a trap, and the shaman ate the trap. He didn't drink it, and the warlock died. So yeah, pretty funny outcome. Now we have another team which I think isn't that hard for us. I think the priest version is way harder, since they have the spell for Bob, and this they don't. So yeah, they do have double sack, but here we do get a good stun on the priest, and he's no, on the holy paladin, sorry. And we do force a Bob. We do force quite the cooldowns from them. We force a wall. We force wings. I am sitting this trap. Maybe I shouldn't have, but we do have the pressure, and they should be running or at least trading cooldowns. I do pop on sentence though, and well, I don't think this turtle was necessary. He was quite healthy, I would say. Like they didn't have incarn anymore, and I understand them forcing bubble, but the turtle I don't think was necessary. Basically now my DPS have no cooldowns, like they don't have anything. I'm just gonna link so they can stay offensive. So we get a stun on the paladin, huge damage on the paladin, he bubbled as well. So at this point we don't have turtle, we don't have ascendance, we don't have bubble, we just have one bob. We don't have a link either. We have one bob, that's it. And still, I'm using globals instead of healing to doing damage. Now I'm probably gonna get full trapped, and this is all about the red. If the red bops the guy, and he did, we are completely fine. They cannot kill the hunter, the red is fairly healthy, and that bob actually won us the game. And it is our last cooldown, like the last cooldown. We don't have anything else. He did get a sack on the feral, but doesn't really matter since we do switch on the paladin. I am trying to perch him. I got a freedom off, but I'm not so sure if we are able to kill him yet. They're like the hunter is on the hunt on the feral, or tries to be, and the red is killing the holy paladin on the other side. That's a really good disorient and on them both. I faked the feral there, and I actually got kicked by the hunter, but it was okay because the hunter just LOS the other one, and we're completely fine at the moment. A nice little play by the hunter there to keep himself alive, and yeah, it was a nice little game there, which we could have played better. We could have saved Turtle, and we could have saved probably Link as well. I think that Link was a bit rushed. I tried to Link pre-trap, but he didn't really use it. I don't think he had it either, even, but yeah. Anyway, now we have Thunder with a disc. At first, I kinda thought, well, they can just train the Paladin, force bubble, purge bubble, and kill the Paladin. Why they didn't really do that? They swapped between the Hunter and the Paladin without creating too much pressure. And as I was saying that, the bubble is almost procced, because he went too far away, pushing in. Maybe I should come closer, but if I go closer, this is why I'm staying here. If I'm going on their pillar, after a Hodge, I can get hexed. I can get feared. If the hex is interrupted, I'm gonna 100% gonna get feared. If he's gonna cast anyway, if I go on the little pillar, I'm gonna get CC'd. I went here offensively on purpose. I didn't care, we had pressure, so I went to purge, and I allowed myself to get hexed because I would just trinket it and stay offensive. So this was a conscious decision of pushing in and playing offensive and maybe scoring a kill, since we have a lot of pressure right now. I should maybe went for the hex on the elemental, and they should have tried to kill the warrior. I don't think the warrior has anything left, but even if he does, he's still in huge trouble. But since we can hit the elemental should be the kill target. Like, he's in the range of he's in the range of the red, he's in the range of the hunter. So training him, if he can be hit, is a good opportunity. Now don't hit the shaman anymore. Well, he walled. Don't train him anymore. Go instantly on the warrior, which we do, kinda. And look at that warrior, man. He almost flopped. He had to go back. He had to spell reflect, and it still wasn't enough. Like, he still died, and we still have bubble, which procced, and doesn't matter. Interrupted that little dispel there. What's it called? Not my control. Mass dispel. Yeah. So yeah, this was a nice game. I do think the switches again could have been cleaner. I think we can do a way better job using our cooldowns. And so hopefully you enjoyed this video. Do leave a subscribe if you didn't already, and leave a like. Hopefully I'm gonna do a bit more in-depth next time. Anyway, bye bye.